Another video for you guys. Hopefully you can hear me okay, not that I've ever got much to say anyway. But I thought I might show you the bushes that I was welding in the last welding video. Just running those at the moment, and it's another run of them. Obviously I finished that lot as of that last video where I was welding, and just I'd show you, well, basically a job that I'm trying to think of jobs that I could show you. So running three. So not running three from anywhere, but running three machines. So we've got the CNC lathe going, CNC mill going, and the bandsaw going. So I'm cutting the material into the CNC lathe and then into the CNC mill. Hope you get that all right. I do have grease holes and so forth. I'll just grab the part and show you so you can make a bit more of an idea. I'll just take you over and show you, it's probably easier. You have to excuse me for a makeshift setup, sort of a bit of hit and miss at the moment, trying to get everything done. I've got about 4 other jobs sort of sitting around me at the moment you can't see, so I'm trying my best to work with what I have. The bushes that as I say, in from that welding video, 32mm, 16mm ID, for those who are Imperial, 1.25 inch, a little over 5/8 on the ID. Just running them through with the U-drill first, M8 tapped holes through here, which get done on the CNC mill. Just trying to think what else I could probably show you. Just like think what else I'm trying to say. Maybe I should just shut up and show you the video maybe. So what we'll do is just go over and just sort of work our way through the sequence maybe. Take you over and show you on the bandsaw, CNC lathe, so it sort of makes order, makes sense in order. That's if you can make sense of what I'm saying, of course, and if you can hear what I'm saying. So we'll get going, and I'll probably have to pause them in between, and we'll try and fit as much in as we can in a short amount of time, and just try to show you a video with jobs that I do. A nice basic job, but a job that I run from time to time. You have to excuse some of the mess around the background and the probably lack of sound. I'm doing the best I can. No editing on the video, as you can probably guess. That's the raw stock coming off the saw. So just cutting those as I'm going, and it wasn't a plan to run this job, but I just wanted to get it out of the way because I was sort of having a bit of a play on the CNC lathe over the weekend, and just thought I'd do this job and get it out of the way. So part coming off the saw, fairly straightforward. Get a bit of light on there so you can see. I'm pretty sure you guys have seen a bandsaw before. Mine is a benchtop model that I don't have to get back a little bit and get a bit of an idea of what it looks like. So I've got the bench, as I say, the benchtop unit, which works better for me. I think it's about 330mm in the width. The height is around about 280, I think, 300, somewhere around there in the height, so I can cut in the beam here. So you can get a reasonable sized piece of material in there, as you can probably gauge. And that's like pretty much on its minimum at the moment. Just hit the go button. Hopefully I did the voice up when I was jabbering. And just going through the material now. Breaking in a new blade, so it's on fairly slow speed at the moment. So you guys might know or may not know, when you get a new bandsaw blade in, you sort of like slowly run them in, and that helps them last a bit longer. Bi-metal blade, 610 pitch for those who are interested. I don't know what RPM it's running at, whatever that is, so it's a high-low speed machine that's running on the low setting. So it works well for me. I have this sacrificial plate, I suppose you could call it, rather than this serratus plate, which you might see on some of the bandsaws like this. So it actually shears through the material. Not that you really care about that part, but just so I decided to add that in for guys who are like, just helps with the actual cutting. It's got a fair few cuts in there, probably due to be changed by now, but it's definitely a lot better to get a shearing action than actually just cutting into a hollow, which is the case with most bandsaw of this style, where they have cast slots, fairly wide cast slots cast into here. So that'll do for the bandsaw. You can probably hear the lathe doing the tool change. And I'll take you over to the CNC lathe. Make sure I say the right thing. CNC lathe next. So over on the DN Solutions, I'm not going to say Doosan, man. Yuma GT2100. Great to have a CNC lathe finally, after dreaming about one for so long. The Mazak mission is still here, so we'll get around doing some more videos on that after I catch up on a few jobs first. So this is definitely going to help me, this machine. 16mm U-drill, So the actual finished hole through the centre is 16.5. I just knock it through with the rougher first. Well, that's what U-drills are for. They're not for finish cutting, but you can finish cut with them if you like. You can run them off. You can run them off centre and cut down the side of the bore, but I'm just roughing it in. And I do the final hole 16.5 over on the manual lathe. Why would you do it on the bloody manual lathe? You've got a CNC. Well, I'm a bit light off the tooling at the moment as far as getting set up, and I'm just doing what I can with what I have at the moment, so I can get like up to speed with my tooling. That's the downside of, you know, you can hear the CNC lathe doing another tool change, and the bandsaw just finished. So working with what I have, I could drill and tap on this machine, but I don't have, as I say, same thing again, I don't have the correct tooling to doing much as yet. I will get up to speed with that as you get going with anything. I think I've mentioned before, I do have milling on this machine, so radial and right angle, obviously right angle there, and radial, well, obviously it's tucked away in there somewhere, obviously you can't see, so radial obviously pointing out this way back towards the camera. So that's the tools that I would be using if you have the radial tools. So obviously I would need, to be able to do that, it's actually a pretty expensive way to do it, because I would need, well, my way of thinking, I'd need 3 radial tools. I've got 2, so you need one for spot, one for drill, and one for tap. So I'd have to buy another radial head, so I haven't got around to that yet. So new machine, new tooling, etc, etc. Tip tray's going well. It's something I thought I might show you, filling up nicely. That's just from the drilling so far. Coolant draining away perfectly, so that's working okay. Of course, a chip conveyor just taking it all away to be okay, but that would probably, you know, I could pretty much get away with that. Even worst case scenario, just pull it out, empty it out, not a big deal anyway. Chip conveyors aren't the ultimate anyway. They get jammed up and you've got to back them up and all this sort of rubbish anyway. They're not totally without problems either. They get jammed. If you've ever run a CNC lathe before, you know how much a chip conveyor can be a pain sometimes. You can spend hours just clearing chips out. So cleaning chips out, not the best, but I've mentioned that why I have to do that. Video's getting a bit longer than I thought. Change the part out. Not that you need to see tools getting changed, but, and I'll just reach over and grab my, I'll just point you over here anyway. Grab my raw stock, so all I've done is just lynched the ends and they're just put in the stock. And I've just got to cut, as I'm cutting more, I go over and lynch more, so I'm sort of juggling the jobs at the moment. Just doing this with the left hand. Something I do on the manual lathe. As the jaws are gripping, I rotate the parts so it self-centers. Okay. Probably a little bit hard like the left, as you've probably just seen. It's not easy with, I'm not left-handed, but I do what I can do. And close the door and press the button. Definitely a lot better than drilling on the manual lathe. I was using this U-drill on the manual lathe and it was working fine, but standing there cranking the handle, yeah, and coolant, well, at least 60% we'll say, coolant on the floor. Most of it's landing in the base of the machine, so definitely good. Close the door. Light goes green. And machine starts. Okay, so probably seen a bit slow coming in. I've turned the rapids down because I'm a bit of a die-hard for looking after machines. These people will say, don't have to worry about that, mate, because it doesn't hurt the machine, but I've actually turned the rapids down by half, so that's why it's a bit slow coming in, and it's just starting to cut now, as you can hear. And I'll just take you over into the CNC mill, and that'll probably finish us. So I'll just bring you in on the drilling the last hole, getting ready for tapping. It's sort of funny when I'll probably watch this video back, it'll make more sense when you guys are watching it, like I will when I finish making this video. Is it's all in sequence for me, but when I play it, it's all in one video. MO1 on the tap. Usually I allow that to make sure that, just open the door. So what I do is I write an MO1, as I say, into the program just so I know that the holes have been drilled. So usually I'm away from the machine when I'm running the mill, so if I'm away from the machine, especially when I'm rigid tapping or any type of tap work, I make sure that the holes are there before I process any further. Nothing worse than running a tap get it up and a bit higher, because you were zoomed. Nothing worse than running a tap in where there's no hole. So as I say, write that MO1 in there to make sure that there's a hole there. Once it's clear, I come back. If the drill's not broken and the last hole's there, so we drill from right to left, okay? As long as the last hole's there, I'm okay. And then I can come over and hit the little green button, so we close the doors again. Probably over explaining this video, but this is making parts. Come over, press the little green button, probably crap lighting, but it is what it is. And we go into a rigid tapping cycle now. Try and get you around into a cleaner window. Definitely need to clean that window amongst the other 105 jobs I've got to do. So I don't know which is worse, making the video or running the parts. It's actually easier running the parts, because especially when you're trying to do a video and make parts, that's fun. That'll probably do anyway. I think you got the grasp of that anyway. These guys can watch or not watch, click off if you've watched it this far anyway. Not too bad, probably what, 12-minute video, so that's okay. Try and keep it under a bit of a limit, but these guys have got the choice to watch or not watch anyway. Just wait for that to finish, open the door, and then show you the parts. Not that it's a big deal, a piece of steel with some threads cut in it, so nothing too big, nothing too major. So everything's waiting for me now. Bandsaw stopped, CNC lathe stopped, and now the CNC mill has stopped. So everything's stopped at the moment, just so I can do a video for you guys. As soon as that tool turret gets out the way, the added bonus of doing it, other than the handling, of course, pain in the ass, taking things off the lathe and bringing them over onto a mill, but you know, you make things work. I can run 3 parts, 3 vices, 3 parts, and I can run that whole cycle through, change it over, another 3. As I say, not the best way to run a job, but I do what I can do. I'm not making parts for aerospace. I don't need to be at that absolute cutting edge. Some of the reason why I wound back the rappets on the machine, as I say, that's a personal choice of mine. I'm ex-maintenance fitter, so I know, wear and tear on parts. So that's argumentative about leaving rappets wound up. Why would you turn rappets down? Because I don't need parts that fast. I'm not panicking. I'm just working on my own. I usually have somebody cutting material for me, but we're just coming out of a long weekend, and the person does the cutting and cleaning for me is having this week off. So I'm just doing what I can do, and it's not killing me, but I can make it all work. Get these parts out of the vise and wind this video up. So we ran a little bit over 12 minutes, but it was probably worth hanging around for, possibly. Let me know what you think about the video, and I'll look forward to seeing you on the next one. I finally got a video for you guys to watch. So, and there we go with drill and tapped holes, all done. The only other thing I've got to do now, as I mentioned, I run the 16.5mm drill through on the manual lathe. I mentioned earlier why I do that, and the other bonus of doing that last is it cleans out the swarf from the drill tapped holes and brings it up from the U-drill runs it out to about 16, a little over 16. It's not perfect, but it is a roughing tool. It's not for finishing. As I said, you can finish with it, but that's your choice. I won't get into the do's and don'ts about how you use your U-drill. It's a 16mm drill. Your 16mm U-drill, I probably wouldn't use it for doing finishing work. It'll probably be chattering like anything at that amount of stick out. I think it's something like 5 times diameter. I think that one I can drill to 90mm. So yeah, so it's getting up there. I think it's about 90 or a little bit more. I've forgotten now. 4 or 5 times diameter. So it's a fairly long U-drill for that diameter. But anyway, wind it up. Yabbering on too much now. Finally got a video for you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.